Oh, yes, we are live now. And I want to use this opportunity to welcome you to this live broadcast on the Impact Podcast with Taiwo Balogun. Today is one of the most important days. Yes, I hope you are ready because we are looking at a very important topic tonight, which is communication skills for business owners. And you need to learn how to engage and influence so that you can increase your profitability. That is the essence of putting this together. And tonight, I have a very important guest, a very important guest. She is very, very intelligent uh, person that I hope you are going to sit back, stay tuned to the end of this uh, episode of the Impact Podcast. Yeah, so I'd like you to join me in welcoming Honorable Mrs. Dr. Coach uh, Mutiat Olagoke. I used to call her Coach. I like calling you Coach. Welcome to the Impact Podcast with Taiwo Balogun, Coach Mutiat. Oh, I can't hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
All
you for
right.
having me.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for having me.
We,
My head is now swearing now. You said I'm very intelligent.
very, you are super intelligent. You know, the first day
Ah,
I met you, and I think that was in a training at the Lagos Business School. I was like, wow,
yeah.
whoa, seriously? The charisma, the way you were talking, wow, wow. I say, wow, I need to connect with this woman.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for all you do in the marketplace. We want to appreciate you. You've been a blessing to our generation. Yes, and I know that you are going places. You are going places.
Oh,
So, like I
thank
told you, the topic that we are looking at tonight is business communication skills, or sorry, communication skills for business owners. It is one of the things that a lot of business owners don't usually take cognizance of, and that is why we are looking at this tonight. So if you have your question ready, everyone connected, I want you to get your question ready because he's ready to answer your questions tonight. So coach, would like to start by
Massa.
telling us what you would like us to know about yourself. I didn't make any introduction. Just say Coach Mutiat. So let's know what you would like us to know about you.
Okay, I would have preferred your introduction because if I start to talk about myself, some people may think, oh, she's hyping herself.
Okay, maybe in
Okay,
brief anyway.
my name is Tiat, Coach Mutiat. I'm known as the Queen of Awesomeness, and that's because my life's work and passion is to inspire awesomeness in the people that I come across. So basically, what's awesomeness? Awesomeness is helping you be your best version, particularly through soft skills and communication. Because when you discover what makes you tick, you need to show the world what it is. That's the only way that you can really make impact. So my job is to help people discover themselves, build confidence, and then communicate effectively. So I do this in particularly working with children between the ages of 7 and 16, and then working with business women to communicate effectively on social media. And also helping those people. Some people want to find their awesomeness, but not to do business. They would just want to use it for their personal development. So I also work with people in self mastery, building self mastery beyond just standing on stage or posting content. I help people to communicate better in their day to day life
Wow.
and their careers. That's a summary of what I do.
Oh, awesome. You see, I think one of those things that connected me with you was the Queen of Awesomeness. I was like, oh, seriously? That's awesome. It's intriguing where you know who you are and you can confidently say, oh, this is who I am. So we appreciate you for who you are. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
viewers,
Thank you.
in today's episode, we will show you how to engage and influence your audience. Like she told you who she is, how to engage, how to influence your audience and your team members through powerful communication skills. So, we want to encourage you to stay tuned to the end of this program. So, as we start this conversation, I'd like you to share a moment when communication skills made a significant impact in your business with us.
Okay. I think from the beginning of my business to date, communication skills is the X factor for me. So this year is going to be 15 years
Wow.
since I've been running my business. We're celebrating our 15 years
Bang,
anniversary,
bang, bang.
and
Oh,
it's a big deal for
there's
me.
no effect on my mixer. Maybe I don't know how to operate it there. Anyway,
Okay.
viewers, please drop an emoji in the comment section. Quack, 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 clap emoji.
Yes.
15 years.
No, really, you have to, because the road
Wow.
here has not been easy. And to have
Wow.
been able to continue to do this, I started this immediately I came from service, like literally the week after I returned from Yobe. And I thought, this is what I want to do with my life. It was a lot of risk, and there were a lot of, there were a lot of problems on the way. But I would say that what helped me come this far is my communication skills. I would communication is the backbone of the society, something that we all have been communicating since we were babies,
Mm,
right? But for someone like me, it's a strength for me. So I've always been a talkative, I've always been an extrovert, and I've also been lucky to have a mother who was very intentional about how the kind of talkative child she wanted, and a father who exposed us to global awareness before it became funky like this. So I had that. I could enter a room and I had the audacity to just tell my story. So I would say that one defining moment was when I started my business. I knew that I started with a children magazine. So the
wow.
question was, my dad was like, "Oh, do we go to a vendor association and all?" And I'm like, "I don't want to go through vendors association. I want to go straight to the audience myself." And my mom owned the school, so I knew that going through schools would help me reach the children and their parents directly.
Mm,
And another thing that I had to also decide was I grew up in Ibadan. My parents live in Ibadan, so I had to move to Lagos. I didn't know anyone in Lagos except my friend whose house I used to live. So when I got to Lagos, I didn't know any school owner, I didn't know anybody. What I knew was that I had a children magazine that was, that's designed to inspire the next generation of great minds. So,
mm.
and I need schools. So what I used to do then was my friend mom said she knew everywhere in Lagos. Apparently, she only knew Oshodi. So if you ask her, I'm going to Obalende, Oshodi. I'm going to, even if you are going to this, go and start at Oshodi, because when you get to Oshodi, you get bus anywhere. So what I used to do then was, I'll get to Oshodi and just stand at Oshodi. Okay, I'll enter any bus going anywhere. For
Wow.
instance, there was the day I entered the bus going to Bagada, and I dropped at the last bus stop. That's what I always do. And the first thing I'll do when I drop is to say, is there any primary school here? And then they'll point at the primary school. And I'll get to the gate, tell the person at the gate, I would like to see the HM. I
Wow.
have no appointment. I have no nothing. All I had was audacity and I could talk.
Wow.
So, and they will say, okay, wait. Some people will say appointment, or they'll make me wait. And when I wait, I will sit down there and I'll enter, and they'll, "Oh, I'm here to introduce my magazine to you." And they'll tell me, why should they take it?
Mm,
Oh, and I like to tell stories. So I'll tell them the story of the fantastic year I had at NYC, being one of the top people in camp, being the top media person in the camp radio, and I have a degree in microbiology,
wow.
and I got an award from NYC. I was part of the editorial team. And I'll tell this fantastic story of a very successful service year. And the only reason I had a successful year was because I was raised to be a reader
Mm.
and to express myself. And that's what my magazine wanted to do. And before you know it, I mean, the first school I'm a Muslim girl in hijab. And the first school that took the magazine in Lagos was a Christian school.
Oh, wow. Say that again.
Was a Christian school, and we
Wow.
had a lot of Christian schools. And before you know it, in 2 years, we had personal, not even 2 years, like in less than 2 years, we had partner schools across Lagos, from Oregon to there's a church, I think it was an apostolic church school. They were a business partner. And so for every time when I open my mouth and I communicate, people look beyond the
The
scarf or
wow.
the stuff. It's
It
just
is the
being able to communicate the
it is what
value.
you carry.
Exactly. That's one. I think if there are a lot of times that being able to communicate effectively helped me. I would say that I'm still here, 15 years after,
Oh wow.
despite the economy, despite a lot of losses along the way, is the fact that I can express value
Absolutely. That is
in a
awesome.
convincing manner.
Awesome. Queen of awesomeness. You see, when you said you are a talkative, I was like, oh, how I hope my children will be talkative like because it
Please.
is not just being talkative. This is talk with value, adding value,
Yes.
being a talkative. And you know, when you said you are from Ibadan, I was like, wow, you know, this there's this gene in Ibadan people that knows, and you know, but a lot of them don't take advantage of that potential. And I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you. Thank you so much. So, in defining communication, how would you define effective communication for business owners, and why is it so crucial?
I think simply it is communication that achieve the goal that you set out for it. Effective communication is communication that achieves the goal, whatever the goal is. If your goal is to lose customers, then communicate like someone who wants to lose one. I
Hmm.
know nobody has that kind of goal, but unfortunately, many of us communicate in upside down way that helps us get the opposite of what we intended. So, if you intended something, and at the end of your communication, what you intended is the outcome,
Hmm.
then it has been effective.
Wow.
Otherwise, it isn't effective. So effective communication is communication that achieves the goal set for it.
Wow. I hope.
And why is it important?
Yes.
It is important because you have to make money now.
Absolutely. We are in the business of value and money.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not even just about. I mean, when we talk about money with business, it's really not the way people look at it. Like, it has to be money. For
Hmm.
me, when I think of money, I think of money as, or you know, how a car would run on petrol,
Hmm.
regardless. It doesn't matter whether you are rich, whether your intention is to acquire petrol. Like, whose goal in life is to have petrol? Like, how many of us have goals in life to have petrol station?
Abi?
Not a lot of us, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we must buy petrol. Our cars will run on petrol. Without petrol, it can't run. That's the same way I look at money for a business. But money is the outcome of a well-run business. If you run your business well, it
Hmm.
should make money. If it's not making money, it's a hobby.
Hmm.
And this isn't about materialistic or materialism. Money is just part of the business process. It's like at the end of the day, you ate 3 times daily or even once a day, you will go to the toilet to
Sure.
pass it out
Sure.
because it has gone through your system and the waste will be passed out. That's the way money is.
Hmm.
The money has to be made. And so if you want your business to achieve its primary goal, you must communicate effectively.
Effective communication is non-negotiable in making money,
It is not.
in life, in
It is not.
business, in every
In
sphere of
in
life.
everything. In
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'd like you to share with us something, because when we look at our daily interactions with people as business owners, you know, we're talking to business owners now, right now. I'd like you to look at, like us to look at, what are some of the communication mistakes that you think business owners are making in their daily interactions, both with employees and even their clients or customers. Can you share something with us?
So this is a fantastic question because earlier in the day, I can't remember, I was watching a video and I thought of this answer as the solution to the problem the person was having. The biggest mistake we make is that we communicate in a way that is you centric.
Mm.
I say you centric. Centric is centered, right? It's from the word
Yes.
centered. You communicate from you.
Mm.
And that's why a lot of us do not get results, even in our relationship, in our partnership, in anything. You hear people say, that's the way me I can see it. Is that what I want to say? If you like, take it. That at least you cannot achieve effectiveness in communication and achieve your goals or get positive outcome if you're always communicating like that.
Wow.
Effective communication has to be audience centric.
Mm.
The way that I would talk to my assistant is actually different from the way that I talk to the people who volunteer for us. The way that I would talk to my partner is definitely different from the way that I talk to my besties. Even in my friends circle, I have different ways of talking to everybody. Every single individual is spoken to in a very particular way. There's a way that I talk to men that is very different from the way that I talk to women.
Mm.
If this podcast is being hosted by a woman, there'll be a lot more more, there's going to be another slightly different version of me.
Mm.
But then there's also a level of formality that I carry with men that I don't carry with women.
Mm.
And people may say, are you sure you're being authentic? Me, I'm very authentic. I'm not a different person. I'm the same to everybody. You cannot be the same to everybody.
Mm.
And I think that that's one big mistake a lot of business people make. And to give an example from a business centric perspective, most of us don't understand how to speak to our audience. We talk the way we talk.
Mm.
You talk the way you talk. You don't have brand voice, for instance, which is another example. There's no brand voice. So today I was telling some women that if you are making cake, you are a baker and you make party cakes. When you write content and caption, you need to sound happy. You need to sound celebratory.
Mm.
If you are a coach like myself and you go to my pages, I have about 7 or 6 business pages online. If you go to all those pages, there's a way we communicate that sounds like we are coaches, we are educators. So, for instance, I'm the queen of awesomeness. Even though I grew up in Ibadan, I was born in Kwara State. I
Wow.
went to a boarding house. My head, there's one personality. There's one alter ego in my head that can change it for you anytime if you bring it. However, I don't bring that persona to business. I don't bring it to
Sure,
work.
sure, sure.
So
You are being authentic here, and I like that. I like that.
you know, I don't bring it to work.
Awesome.
Sometimes I'll be sitting there minding my business and someone is going to come and look for my job and I'm like,
Oh,
I,
wow.
I give this person clap back now. They'll say, but the people have come. And I think that that's a mistake a lot of people make. You bring all of your alter ego and all your village people to work to your. We can see when you're going through something. We can see it in your caption. We can see it in your video. You are everywhere. When you come to work, when you're speaking to your customers, we can hear all your family problem in your communication. Some people are just rude people. They don't know how to be nice. They don't know
Mm.
when how to tame themselves. You just communicate, and every time you say you are authentic, there's nothing authentic about communication that is not effective.
Wow.
Authentic communication is communication that helps you achieve authentic goals. So that's that. It's okay
Ah,
to
wow.
have 5 personas. Like
I think
it's
I need
okay.
to repeat that for you. That authentic communication is what helps you to achieve authentic goals. Yeah. Audience, please. I want you to be dropping some of those nuggets that Coach Mutiat is dropping here because this is indeed value. I hope you are getting value for your time. For me, I am getting value. And like you said, you mentioned that you have different business pages, social media pages. But I want to ask, what are the top tips for keeping an audience engaged? Whether it is in a meeting, on the social media or through your marketing communication materials. I hope you can share some engagement tips.
I think the simplest way to get that is to say what is in need for your audience.
Good.
Every human being you meet that you engage with, they're asking themselves,
We
what is
question.
in it for me?
Yes.
And you know what? It's a continuation of the last point about you being you centric. Many of us are always talking about what is in it for us.
Mm.
I'm here to sell. I don't have time. If you want to buy, buy. If you don't want to buy, get out. That's the attitude that market women have.
Mm.
And these market women are selling in niche markets where people will go to them whether they advertise or not. You and I cannot be on social media or even some of the smaller shops that we run and operate on that level of indifference.
Mm,
So if you want to keep people engaged, even these so-called market women, no matter how big their shops are, if you go there once and you don't feel treated well, you're not going to go there again. There's no way I'm going to go to Balogun and say that is that same woman that talked to me anyhow the last time that I will go and meet.
mm,
Definitely not. Even if she has the best deals in the market.
mm.
Or maybe I'll go and just not talk to her because I don't like her wala. But me as a human being, no matter how good her deal is, I'm not going back. Ah,
Wow.
maybe it's your fan, the bad inside me. I'm just not going back. So when you want to keep people engaged, you need to ask a question: what is in need for them? Once you know what is in need for those people, and every time I mean, at least out of 5 times you engage or you communicate, 4 out of those times you are giving what is in need for them. And then the last one, and that's the 80-20 rule of content creation, for instance. The last one, you can now come on and say, this is what is in it for me. Because the average person doesn't want to be sold to.
Sure.
So to continue to hold their attention, you need to be coming from the perspective of what is in need for them. So
Mm,
whether you're advertising or you're even making a joke or you want to be a friend, it's the same thing with even when you want to post a woman. You're not
mm.
going to go there. I mean, well, there are some people who do go there and say, I am the king of our village, I'm the finest boy. And the woman is looking at you like, so? So?
Seriously?
That's the same way your customers will look at you when you go to say, "Oh, I'm the queen of awesomeness. I'm the best speaker in the house. I am the oxygen you need." And you do that the first time, the second time, the third time, they're going
Mm.
to change the channel.
Wow. Wow.
So what's in it for them? And
Absolutely.
whatever
That's a
context is,
good
what is in it for them?
question. And that's a good question. And you see, like you said, it's like a lot of business owners don't think of audience first. Like for me, I'm into product design too. You know, we used to think before you design any product, you have to think of your audience, the users. That's why we used to talk about user experience. How would they, like you also rightly said, that some people bring what they are going through to the work marketplace, to their office, to the meetings, to the social media. You see, I used to tell people this: you are what you post when it
Mm,
comes to social
mm.
media. So someone should drop that in the comment section. Is it Mr. Lawal? Okay. Lawal Fatima, thank you so much for your engagement. Olaide Lawal, thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, teaching with emotional intelligence. Okay, thank you so much. So I'd like us to look at something. You mentioned something that you are good in storytelling. And I want you to tell us or educate us on how can storytelling be used as a tool to connect, and also influence others in business setting? How can that work?
Okay, so one thing about storytelling is it is probably the most the longest form of the longest form of communication. Like storytelling is the way that our forefathers have been able to pass down the culture to all of us. When you look at practically all the holy books, they're filled with stories.
Mm,
And that's because we are wired for stories. We are wired for it.
mm,
We're wired for it. So one of the ways to use storytelling is to use it in your adverts. So like I said, the average person doesn't want to be sold to. So most people don't like adverts. But have you noticed that when an advert has a story line, you will watch it to the end?
sure.
Not only will you watch it to the end, you will watch it and watch it the next time. In fact, you will tell your brother, have you seen this advert? Remember, there were a series of adverts that Airtel used to do. Fantastic storytelling. We
Yeah.
used to watch it. We loved it. The actors don't used to say much, oh, but we were glued. A number of us fell in love with some of these actors, not from their movies. For someone like me that doesn't watch movies, I fell in love with them through those adverts. That's one way to get people's attention. People don't want you to say, come and buy,
Mm.
but they like, let me say this in Yoruba. And when you're like, yeah,
They like
to,
what? Iran?
yes, they like
Okay.
to,
To
they
see
just, people
some,
like
to
to
watch.
watch.
Okay.
Like, You will be going to the market and someone is doing mumu thing. Like the person is not doing anything extraordinary, and you will see a circle of people who have left their work to watch the person. That's how much people like stories. It doesn't
Hmm.
even have to be the most interesting one. So one way to use storytelling is to use it in your advertisement. It's not every time you say, this toothpick, come and buy it, 5 naira. Tell a story around the toothpick. Tell a story of a day that the toothpick saved your life.
Hmm. Wow.
For someone like me, for instance, I have terrible dentition.
Hmm.
And so if any strand of meat gets stuck between my teeth, I need to have it out. And then you just form this story of her. And a good story is a story that has a problem, a big deal problem. Most people don't like to, and this is where business owners fail at storytelling. Most people don't like to look bad.
Hmm.
So they usually don't know how to tell stories because they don't want to discuss the problem. You just want to go straight to how everybody like packaging. So everybody wants to go straight to the fairy tale part of the whole thing. That's not a good story. A good story should have a problem. The meat got stuck in my teeth. All of a sudden, my gum got swollen. Why? Am I a baby? And then I was looking for everything. Nobody had floss. It's a party. So I didn't come with my toothbrush. I can't be brushing my teeth in the middle of a party. I am the bridemaid, Abike, look, so I cannot even leave my house early. That's how we started to look for floors. So somebody said they should use their clothes. I thought clothes. I did not know how to use that one. I need to put toothpick.
Hmm.
That's how we cannot find toothpick. We couldn't find anything. Okay, I there was actually toothpick, but I refused to use it because like, no, I'm a modern person. Toothpick is going to be bad for my teeth. Let me find floss. And we were looking for floss, we couldn't find. That's how one person looked at me. I said, "Oh, Benny, collect toothpick, I use it." Use toothpick. It came out, and all of a sudden, my gum wasn't aching anymore. It literally saved my life. I was able to eat more meat, and I was there for my friend in our party. Didn't you enjoy that story? Of course, it did not happen. I made it up.
Hmm. Hmm.
But you will buy toothpick.
Sure.
You will definitely buy toothpick.
If you
That's
are
how.
to advertise a brand of toothpick with this story, I'm going to order for it. I'm just going
You
to
will
place an
buy
order.
and say, okay, we don't know. There will be a day. Something may happen. Let's
Hmm.
just have one at home.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So
And
yes, use storytelling for adverts.
I think we, like you said, that we are wired for stories. But I think the way, by the time we keeps growing, or when we were growing, a lot of us don't look at that potential of storytelling again. Maybe it is the hustling and bustling around or whatever, but those that have it, they have it, and that is the strategy that most multinationals are using to tap into our emotions and get money from our bank accounts. And I
Yeah.
want to appreciate you for that. And I hope you have a storytelling course, because the way you just crafted this story now is appealing and intriguing.
Yes, I do. I do
Okay.
have part of our content creation course. We teach storytelling.
Wow.
We
Powerful.
have this very fantastic, easy to remember template that will help you if that eight features of a good story. Once you memorize those 8 features and your story has all 8 of them, you can never go wrong with storytelling. Whether it's brand stories or anything. I would say that, of course, I grew up in a house of storytellers. My mom has a degree in history and she
Wow.
loves history. My father is just a natural clown. So he likes to make stories up. So
So that means
we,
you look like your father,
I look like my mother, but
but
I have my father's blood.
oh wow,
So
awesome.
it's a mix of everything. So for me, I didn't lose that. And it was a good thing that I didn't lose the storytelling, the power, understanding how powerful storytelling is. Because that was the main thing that I used to break into the heart of my customers.
Hmm.
That's I just enter a room and I tell them a great story and link it to whatever it is that I'm selling. And we're
Hmm.
here. But we're here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now let's look at okay, you mentioned storytelling. You know, some people don't like listening to story. Have you ever come across such people?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Some people say that they don't like long articles. They don't like long articles. But one of the things I realized is that when you keep knocking enough, when you keep knocking and knocking enough, the door will open. But even if there are people, I mean, all of us are not the same. There are people who would definitely not like something, even though it makes sense to the entire humanity.
Mm.
There's just going to be that exception. And for those people, there are always things that work for them. So for me, from a content creation perspective, for instance, or communication generally, you don't communicate one way.
Okay.
You ensure that because your audience is diverse, you ensure that you try all types of communication. So there's going to be days where we try long stories, then there will be days where we'll do the short, straightforward thing. There'll be times where you just do logical content. There will be times where you do this. You just take content from, you mix it up. Variety is the spice of life. So you should always mix it up. Even for your team, there are days when I come into my office and I am straight to the point. And then there are days when I am sitting in the lobby with my staff and I'm gisting and we're doing family stuff and we're talking deep personal things. And
Wow.
some people be like, no, I can never be like that. They're going
Disrespect
to
you.
be, they have not born the person.
You must be a very
Eh,
blunt person.
I am a blonde person. You forgot that I grew up in Ibadan. I have.
Oh
I think
God.
that's understanding what communication does. When you know communication, you're not afraid that people will take liberties they shouldn't take because there's a clear communication at all
Mm,
times. I don't
mm,
used to. Okay, so let me give an example. My executive assistant, who is now the operational manager for my company, when she started to work with me, the first time she did something that annoyed me, I told her. And then the next morning, this girl came to the office and she was carrying hair.
mm.
And I was looking at her like, excuse me.
For
I was the
real?
one that was offended. Why are you the one looking offended? I just called her in. What's wrong with your face? What's wrong with your face?
Wow.
She said nothing. I said,
Wow.
does it have anything to do with what happened yesterday? I said, babe, you owe me an apology. You're supposed to come here today and apologize to me.
Mm,
She said she's feeling, it's not like her face is showing, when they are carrying attitude, but
mm,
deep inside she's feeling like she disappointed me. Yes, you disappointed me, but
mm.
I have said my mind. Apologize. I have accepted your apology. Full stop. We move on.
Wow. Thank you.
And I will not mention it again.
Someone said, so Aisha Badmos says, so story doesn't have to happen. Absolutely. That is what the Coach Mutia just told us. You can cook up stories. You can cook up. And one thing that I used to tell people when it comes to personal branding, I love personal branding. When it comes to personal branding, I used to tell people to have a swipe file. There's what we call swipe file. Swipe file is a folder where you keep stories or
Mm,
things that you just like or things that oh, I can use this idea, this concept to create something for my business later. So please have that. You can have it on your phone. You can screenshot stuff and keep it in your swipe files, or copy something and save it somewhere, because one day it will work for you.
yeah.
And same thing applies to storytelling. You can see a story somewhere and you see, oh, this story goes. I was reading LinkedIn 2 days ago, and I saw a story. I was like, what? I need to save this because I'm going to rebrand it for my own use. So that is one thing. Aisha Badmos says Omo Ibadan. Thank you. She's proud to
Now,
be Omo Ibadan.
I'm Arabado. Don't let people come and arrest me. Arabado, that's what they call us. That we are not
Oh.
Omo, but we are part of them. So I think for what another reason that Aisha said that is also that people believe that, oh, if you're faking the story, it's a lie. It's not a lie in marketing.
Mm,
You create stories. I mean, the truth is that there's no story you want to create that there's a likelihood it has happened somewhere. That
mm,
one is for sure because it's only God that can create out of nothing. All of us create out of something. So most likely Someone will look at the story, and that's why when you watch movies, they will write this story is not coincidental, it is not attached to anybody's
Mm,
story. It was the figment of the imagination of the writer. Because there's a likelihood that someone will say, "Oh, are you talking about my life story?
mm,
Why does this sound like you know me? I don't know you. That's my own life story." I
mm.
wrote a story on my status 2 days ago, and five, no, let me not exaggerate, three people said, "That's the story of my life."
Wow.
Even if I made it up, there will still be someone that will say it. So don't look at fictional story for brand, especially for marketing, as a lie.
Mm,
Oftentimes, we create stories from our customer persona. So we imagine the customer. Because I can't enter all my customers' houses to know them. So I'm just going to use the demography and the truth that research has about them. So my customers are women between the ages of 28 and 45. Now, usually the average woman between 28 and 45 is married, right?
mm,
But it's not all of them that are married, but at least the average one. So using that, what's the average situations in those homes? This is Nigeria. The dollar is at 1.7. They are most likely ranting about food with their husband every day and cost of living. So I can draw a story from that.
mm.
So it's not entirely a lie, even though it is fiction. The same thing with the story of the toothpick
Toothpick.
thing. It is somebody's experience somewhere. So it's not a lie, but it is an imagination that comes from, like he said, keep a all the things you are consuming, keep a file for those ones you will find useful someday. So I formed that story offhand, but it's actually coming from experiences and all the many stories I've heard. So there's some truth to, but it doesn't. I think when people think of, oh, tell a story about your brand, they're thinking of their own life experience.
Mm,
No,
yes, that's the
doesn't have to
mistake.
be.
A lot of people will want to say, "Oh, I think I don't have any story to say." Tell. You have stories. In fact, you can
You are a,
monetize your stories.
mm,
You can monetize your stories, and as a business owner, learn to keep. When you are writing your sales copy, yes, some of us don't write sales copy anyway. We have copywriters. We have people. Always include a story in your copy because it's going to help your business. Why? People wants to know you. They wants to do business with people. It is
mm,
people to people now, unlike B
yeah.
to B, business to business. It is people to people. So, and they wants to know your story. There was a time I wrote a series on my social media platforms on how I met my wife. Ah, hey, that
That's the
story.
kind of story that people like.
A lot of people said, "Come, let's produce this movie." Well, I said, "What?" At the point, I had to pause the story because as I was enjoying the story, I would step on some people's toes. If I want to tell the real story, you
Real
understand?
truth.
Where is it that when I said I want to get married to my wife, and they say, "Oh, Motani,"
Wow.
where is she coming from? You understand? So I can't tell the details of that story, but I
Mm.
can I can craft something around. So please always write a story in your copy. Dr. Kafilat or Yaremi, thank you. Yes, he says yes. So I am getting value for my time. Thanks for putting this together, sir and ma. So please, if you have any question, drop it before we wrap up. And please, I want to beg of you, if you are enjoying this content, subscribe to this channel and also smash the likes button. Every good buttons there, smash it and activate the bell button so that you'll be notified whenever we come up on this channel with valuable content. So I'd like us to move to the next one. In when we look at listening skills, we always talk about speaking skills, storytelling skills, and most of the times we don't listen very well. And as business owners, I think we need that skill. So I want you to help us. How can we improve our listening skills as business owners? Because we really need to help us out.
Okay, so before we go into how, you must understand that you cannot be an effective communicator without active listening.
Mm,
So usually when you see communication skills, it's always in plural.
Mm.
because it is not one thing, it is a number of things that you do, you balance well to achieve effectiveness. Without one or two of those things coming together, you cannot achieve it.
Mm.
So number one, so it's not just verbal. So when people think of communication, we think of talk, 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 or write, write, write. That's just one part of it. In fact, the talk, the words, they are just what 70% of communication.
Mm.
A great deal of communication, majority of it, about 80% of it, is non-verbal.
Mm.
So you need to listen, not just listen to words. You have to listen to body
Body
language.
language. Thank
You
you.
have to listen to tone.
Mm.
So if we don't include tone in verbal, so communication is going to be like 93%. 7% is words. 13% is tone, and 8% communication is a non-verbal cue and all the other things. I personally, I would tell you that for a long time I can talk, but I was a terrible listener, and it
Mm.
was not good for my relationships. It wasn't good because I will miss cues and just keep talking. So as a business person, you need active listening. Active, and I didn't say just listening, active listening. And how do you get active listening? Well, the first thing, I know that there are people that know Yoruba here, but I can only speak for the Yoruba culture because that's one I know very well. You have to remove the Yoruba-ness in your communication.
Mm.
And what I mean, and no offense to some of the ancestors, is that a number of times we like to listen with so much, we listen with a lot of baggages. So I'm sitting down and I'm talking to you. You're already saying, do you mean?
Mm.
I don't mean anything except what I've said. Whatever was done in your family house last week, leave it there.
Mm.
When you get into this room, come with an open mindedness. And I think a lot of people don't are not open minded. In fact, some people believe that objectiveness doesn't exist. People are not objective. When people say that they are sitting on a fence, basically it means that they are not sitting on your side.
Mm.
Most people have a side. Most people have taken a side. So that's the average person. The average person comes with their own baggage. We don't listen to what is being said. We listen through our own perspective of the world.
Mm.
And if you do that all the time, there will always be conflict. So let me give a great example. We say listen to body language. If you're someone that watch K drama, Korean drama, the Koreans, when they want to say no, I notice that they nod their head.
Mm.
They will say something like they, and they're saying no. And in my mind, I'm thinking, are they not supposed to do like
Mm.
this?
Mm.
But they don't do like this. And then you see Indians, they seem to always do a lot of nodding. And half of the time, like, why are they nodding like this? So if even when they're excited, when they're agreeing, you see someone agreeing doing their heads like this. Now, me, the Yoruba girl that I am, if I'm speaking to someone and the person say they and does like this, I'm just going to assume that the person said yes.
Mm.
If you don't listen to context, if you are not open minded, and if you are not allowing the person, another thing that we do wrong is that we don't look at people when they are talking. We are always doing something else. You're either looking at your phone, you're looking at this. So sometimes somebody may actually have said yes, but you haven't with a strong face. So meaning that this yes, I'm just saying it because I'm under duress. I don't want to see. If I had a choice, I would say no. But
And
because you're not looking at the person, you're not paying attention, you don't know that, and then the person does rubbish job. And then you're like, when you knew you didn't want to do it, why did you now do it? Why did you agree? Because she couldn't disagree. Her
mm.
life depends on you. And every part of her body was telling you she does disagreed, but you were not looking at her.
Mm.
So you want to, for active listening to happen, you want to listen to body language. You want to understand the audience and their own ambiguities because people have different ambiguities. We're all different people. People have different ambiguities. So somebody saw me one time, I wanted to shake me, and I said, I don't shake. Or and I was, and the person said, oh, sorry. I hope you're not offended. No, I'm not offended. Yet another person, I told another person I don't shake. And the person was like, what do you mean you don't shake? The first time I went to EDC, for instance, oh, I suffered. I was the only Muslim
Oh,
class of
really?
50. I know that LBS is a Catholic school.
Yes,
So there
yes.
were people who were offended.
Wow.
And I'm confused. And I'm like, why are you offended? I should be offended that you put your hand first? Because technically, a woman is supposed to be the one to actually put her hands first.
I,
Why did you put your hands first?
I think some
I
people
didn't
don't
vex.
know.
You are vexing.
Yeah, some people don't know. Yeah,
Exactly.
yes, a lot of people don't know. I'm from a Muslim background. Yes, I'm a pastor, but like when we did the flyer, the thumbnail for this program, when we were designing it, we had issue with your picture because there was no much space by sides. So we need to cover up the space. So I now asked them, okay, put my picture over our picture. And that was why I asked you before we bring it up that come, are you okay with this design? Will it fly?
Now that's listening skills.
Yeah.
Because you can be considerate. You are not just doing what you have to do as a business. You are
Mm,
being audience centric. You are thinking of me, of my own ambiguities, of my
yes.
own values.
Sure.
Those are things that you must add if you really want to be a good listener. A
Mm,
good listener is someone who has empathy. Empathy is also another skill or to build active listening. So what you did there was to show me empathy.
mm.
You considered my values and then you put yourself in my shoes like this could get her in trouble. Let's be sure. Then I looked at it and I'm like, if anybody thought you and I were standing over ourselves, there's something is wrong with that person.
Abby.
So, and this is something that is not easy for most people because most of us we want to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard.
Sure.
Now, but the thing is, one of the things I do in communication is I always somebody has to be responsible for achieving the goal.
Mm, awesome.
Somebody has to responsible. My partner was vexing for me some weeks back, and it was going on and on and over about how I wasted his time. He now waited in traffic. He now did this. He now and quite frankly, I wanted to, women now. I wanted to just clap back to say, well, okay, if you don't wait in traffic, who is supposed to wait? Do you want me to get lost? The guy was threatening to drop me in the middle of nowhere. So they should kidnap me. There were a lot of things that I could clap back, but I decided in that moment that for this to not blow up into a bigger conflict, I'm going to take responsibility for taking care of the goal. And I asked myself, what should be the goal of this conversation? The goal of this conversation is that we reconcile something. So this person is sharing what they were annoyed about.
Mm,
Okay, so I want to share what I'm annoyed about. But if I shared it now, we're not going to end this conversation. We will not reconcile. So what I did was to listen beyond the words. I listened to the emotion. I'm asking myself, what is the major point this man is trying to pass across? And I realized that at the bottom of that rant was a man trying to tell me that I felt you took me for granted.
mm,
And so, because I took responsibility for the goal of that conversation, I was able to pick, okay, so my clap back should not be that, of course, you should wait for me. My clap back should be that I did not take you for granted.
mm,
I was afraid. I was scared. Of course, I will call you. Who else would I call?
mm,
And so, by the time I realized that the rant was just a lot of talk saying, I felt taken for granted. You knew I had a meeting. You wasted my time, this and that. I just first said, I'm sorry that you felt like that. I didn't mean it like that. And it took a while before he understood that I was not clapping back.
mm.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So when he calmed down, I'm like, I'm sorry. Well, lie, I did not mean it. However,
In
I
fact,
was afraid.
as you were telling us this story, that was what I was expecting. Just, I'm sorry.
That's what you
but
were saying, right?
for who you are, I know
Oh,
you
that's
process everything. You have to process everything.
where I do have to process everything. But surprisingly, a lot of people always think that I'm a very strong-headed person. I'm not. Because to be a communication expert, you understand that so
Mm.
your ego should never be bigger than the goal.
Sure, sure.
So in that moment,
Somebody should drop that comment, that nugget in
at
the
no
comment
time,
section that your ego should not be above a goal.
the
Thank you for
goal. So
dropping that. Yes, teaching with emotional intelligence. I think that person is buttressing your point. Thank you so much.
thank you.
He says, listen with the goal of the conversation. Communication in
Yes.
mind, listen to the emotions behind the communication. Yes, that means you
Yes.
guys are learning. You guys are good students. Thank you so much. Like I said, you are getting value from this conversation. Please hit the subscribe button now, now, now. Don't wait for anything to stop you. Thank you so much. Thank
Please,
you,
please, please.
Dr. Kafilat. Thank you. We everyone that I cannot mention your name. Rukaya, thank you. I can read your comments and we are getting value also. Your ego should not be above the goal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think we need to release coach. But before you go, I want us to say so to share some things, and it's going to be like an advice for newbies or for aspiring business owners. You know, for business owners who are just starting out, who are just who are still at the ideation stage. What are the communication skills that they should focus on first? Because I see that a lot of people start up business and they couldn't go far because of lack of communication skill. So what is that one communication skill that they should focus on?
Marketing.
Wow.
Marketing. I think marketing sums it up. Marketing sums it. The skill that a lot of people starting business do not have. Some people want to make money, yes, but we don't like to market. The average person doesn't want to market. It's a lot of work, especially if you are a producer of something. You are feeling like, oh, I just want to produce. I just want to coach. I have a lot of clients like that. Like, I don't want to be bothered about the whole selling parts. I just want to teach class and teach an empty room now. How do you get people into the room? If you're starting a business, you need to understand that marketing is part of the parcel. Marketing is you have to fall in love and enjoy marketing. And what is marketing? Is basically from your elevator pitch. You need to learn how to pitch your business 1 minute. You should be able to tell us what you're selling in 30 seconds to a whole 30 minutes the presentation. So from the 30 seconds elevator pitch to the 1 hour presentation, be able to sell your business. You are a business is in the business of, I mean, the business is, how do I define businesses? I always say that a business is an entity that sells solutions.
Mm.
You are not an entity that, you are an entity that that creates solution. Yes, to sell. To sell. So marketing is that skill, and there are a number of very inexpensive ways to look at marketing. It's as simple as attending a church program and having the audacity to tell, Pastor Balogun, for instance, that, excuse me, sir, can I get 5 minutes to just speak to everybody on the stage? I'm sure that as your mentor, it may allow you, it may or may not allow you, or you could actually call one of the ushers. Is there any opportunities where people can pitch their business to the congregation? Don't be afraid to ask.
Mm.
There, that's very cheap. Nobody's going to ask you to pay, and if they ask you to pay, but they will not even ask you to pay. Even when they see you like this one needs help, they will not ask you and that's one on one. Because I always think that the first set of people you should sell to are your own people.
Yes. Those that are
Sell to
close to
your
you. Mm.
yes, your comfort zone. Start with your comfort zone. Talk to your friends about it. Some of you are doing businesses and you have not told anybody in your family. You
Mm.
have not told anybody in your friends. You don't want them to know, and you're shy, or I don't know, whatever your reasons are. You must market.
Mm. Nobody will
You must
market
market
whatever you are selling than
like
you.
you would do. Yes, you may eventually scale up your business to have a VP of marketing who does marketing better than you. But at this startup stage, you are going to be everything. It is cost effective like that. You have money. If you have money and you're looking for a skill to develop, let it be marketing so you can save money. That money you want to go and be paying someone to be helping you just post or
Mm.
writing. Because at this stage, you are the one who understands the vision the most. And even if you do get a marketer, you need to sell your vision to that person. You need
Yes.
to market your vision to that person so that they can sell it how you want it to be sold. Because in truth, there are some people who are well meaning, who, they mean well, but they will help you in a way that is not helpful. I've
Wow.
had people talk about my business and I'm like, excuse me, that's not what I do. Please, Ejema Kobamio. But they mean well. Some
Mm,
people will oversell me, and I'm like, don't, please, I don't do that to you, Edakun. Because if they keep saying that, customers will come expecting what they said that I don't have available for sale.
mm,
So it is key that you are able to sell it. And why do you want to put the most important, the powerhouse of your business, you want to give a stranger who can walk away at any time? You should be able to sell yourself. When people talk about, oh, I want to be like Einstein, I don't want to, I just want to be like all those inventors. They were fantastic sellers. They were fantastic speakers. They did
mm.
interviews. They did. I mean, you can't collect a patent without a press
Facing
conference.
panel, yes,
You
yes.
need to talk about it so that people will know that you are the one. Do you think it was only what's this guy called Edison that made the light bulb? There were a
Mm-mm.
number of people making the light bulb. He was the first person to get to the patent shop that got the patent.
That spoke out.
The first person to speak out.
Yes, so
So you should be able to market. I think that's the
thank
just
you
learn what
so
marketing
much.
entails in you.
Wow, wow. That's it. That I think that sum is up because like I'd wanted to ask another question, but with this one, this is the first because every business person is should be in the business of marketing. Everybody, a pastor, an imam, uh, every because people wants to know what you believe, and that is
Hmm.
what business is all about. Business is your belief that this thing is going to solve your problem. This thing is this solution is going to help your life, and you have to say, you have to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, nobody will know what your business can solve or the problem that your business can solve. On this note, let me quickly appreciate some of our audience here. Aisha Yuba, value overload. This is indeed value overloaded. In fact, I was me. If I feel we should bring you up again, and again.
I'll be honored. I'll be honored. I'll be
This
honored.
because
But
I am overwhelmed. Like I said, I said it earlier. I said you are super brilliant, and when I see people that are brilliant, I know and I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
thank you.
So I would
Thank
like to know more about your business, your offers, your trainings, where people can get you, connect with you, do business with you.
Okay. Okay. So now I feel like a jack of all trades. Okay, so I run a media company. It's a social enterprise. Basically, what we do is to sell social solutions, not an NGO,
Okay.
but we sell social solutions. The biggest one is to inspire great minds, make Nigeria a better place. That was the utopia idea that I had
Wow.
at the beginning. So we have Egret Media, and Egret Media has different arms. So we have the Egret Learning Hub. This is where we take our trainings. We have trainings on soft skills for during the summer. We just finished the one for children on Friday. We're starting upper week. We're going to start for young adults, and this year they are learning leadership, self leadership. So basically, we teach soft skills to children, communication, empathy, all of that, all the things under self concept. We
Wow.
also teach self concept to adults too. So if you want self discovery, confidence building, emotional mastery, uh, healing, there's a healing course from Islamic perspective. We also do self leadership for adults because I find that a lot of adults, a lot of business women, I'm not consistent. I don't do things. I don't follow through on things. Why? Are you a baby? Because you are so used to your mommy telling you. Now that you have become a mommy, you are the one that will be momming people. And unfortunately, a lot of people have been raised by micromanagers who didn't raise them to be managers of themselves and other people. So they don't know how to manage themselves. We have self-management courses, self-leadership courses to help people build confidence and start to build intrinsic motivation. So we
Wow.
also, I think our flagship course is what we call the C4G, the Comfort Growth course. It's our best-selling course, course that helps us get people into our business community. We have a business community of almost 300 women,
Wow.
and so we teach them how to communicate effectively through media. So social media is the cheapest form of marketing,
Marketing.
and
Yeah.
I have an eight-figure business. and I don't usually pay. I don't pay for adverts a lot. I don't have a signboard in front of my office. I don't. It's just social media. 99% of my marketing. Let me not exaggerate. 95% of my marketing is done on free social media, and I'm getting results. So I want to help more women, particularly Muslim women, because Muslim women have peculiarities regarding certain, beliefs and conservativeness that a number of other coaches don't get.
Okay.
So we create a platform for them so they
And
can
that's
learn
that's a
within
good
that.
niche. Is a very micro niche that a lot of people don't look into. And
Yeah.
that's a very good, and there you I'm sure you are making a lot of money from
Alhamdulillah, we can't complain. We
yes,
also
so
do, because it's a media company and our goal is to inspire, awesomeness. So we also have a print merchandise arm where we print cards, canvases, frames. Mostly we create products that augment the things we are doing in the training
okay.
arm. So we have a family value canvas, for instance, because remember we are teaching children confidence, and family value is part of those things they need to learn. We have a business logo canvas package for business owners because we're teaching mission vision in our C4G class. So we want them to put it on the wall and read it to themselves and their staff every day. So
Wow.
we also do thank you cards. We print cards for people, business cards, and all of that. So everything we do seem different, but they are all interwoven.
Wow.
I think another part, okay, is the Kiddies Digest magazine, which was our very first product. That's the way that we engage parents and teachers to continue to support them in positive parenting and creating positive classrooms via confidential. And
Do
the
you
last
print
part is,
that? Is it a printed version?
well, yes. So yes, we've printed it for years, and then I let it rest.
Okay.
When the ebook thing was going all over the place, and I'm asking myself why Google is everywhere, apps are everywhere, information is everywhere. Why should someone buy a compilation of articles? So we rested it, and this year we want to bring it back because now we now have a new focus. Want to make it, other than being a compilation of different articles for children to read and enjoy, since we have been doing this fantastic work with communication and soft skills, we want to make the magazine about that. So it will be like a handbook for soft skills.
Wow.
That we are
Someone
relaunching that.
said, okay, Adekoya Kezim, thank you for joining. You say, okay, maybe I'm sorry for that. That the niche is not is large audience. Yes, but I love is a
But it's a
special.
micro niche. It's a micro
Yeah,
niche.
yeah.
The audience is large, but it's very streamed down. That's what he meant.
Okay, okay.
It's very
Thank you.
streamlined.
So because I noticed that a lot of people don't look at that niche, and some of our religious people are facing a lot of things that most coaches don't develop product to solve that. And that is one of the reasons why the Impact Podcast is here. Thank you so much, Coach Mutiat Olagoke. I really
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
having me.
time. And I want to say,
Thank you.
God bless you. I really enjoyed every bit. Thank you so much. So, and you didn't tell us where we can connect with you.
Oh yes, you can connect with me on Instagram.
What's the
I
Instagram
am
one?
the Muslima Speaks at Muslima_speak. If you put
Okay.
Muslima Speaks on Instagram, it's going to bring you two pages. Some pages, a couple of them are mine. The top two will be my own.
Wow.
Muslima Speaks. There's Muslima Speaks Tribe because we have a community of 20,000 Muslim women in that we are doing free conferences and summits for people who can afford to pay for the courses. There's going to be people who, because we're a social enterprise, so it's not just about money, money, money alone. We
Mm,
also have our CSR arm and use that platform, that community CSR. So we have summit every 2 months. We have the biggest conference, I dare say, the
okay.
biggest virtual conference, maybe this side of the Sahara or the entire continent. In 20,000 audience is a lot.
Wow, that's
So,
huge. That is
and we do that
huge.
every December.
Wow. So
So yeah.
it's coming up in December.
Yes, we've been running this since 2018. Goal is bring different coaches, Muslim women coaches, because So the problem was that Muslim women, you will tell them this, they can't come to LBS. Not because it's too expensive, but because it is, you know,
Oh, yes,
they
yes,
can't,
yes.
they,
I
do you,
understand.
can you go to Coach Taiwo? No, you
Uh,
know. And okay, who can you go to? So we decided that I knew a lot of Muslim women who were coaches, mentors, doing big figures, doing well in corporate that a lot of people don't know. But I
wow.
know, and these are my mentors and my friends. And I thought, you know what, we're going to host a conference and put these women in front of all these other women so that they can, the Muslim women with their hijab, with their scarf,
They are doing
with their
great
values
stuff.
are doing great stuff. And
Yes,
so
yes.
that's what came about the conference. And been doing it. This is going to be 7.0.
Wow.
Hopefully, it will
Awesome.
be big. Yeah.
Somebody is suggesting, Kesman is saying, let's have another class on niche strategies. You see, these these people.
Let's invite him to come and say
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
That person is a corporate person.
Ah,
He
he's a
knows
product
me.
designer. The guy is good.
So let him come and take
Adekoya
it so that I
Kezim.
can
So
sit.
that is a challenge to you.
So
So we are
that I
hosting
can sit in
you.
the audience and learn from you too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Everyone that connected on behalf of myself and Coach Mutiat, we
Thank
want to
you.
say thank you for your time. Thank you so much for engaging with us. And like she said, we want you to do business with that. That is one of the reasons why I am bringing most of my guests online on this show, because I know they have value to offer. And don't forget, when you have value, money flows to you. Thank you and do have a wonderful day, Coach. I appreciate you. But personally, I'd like to host you again and again. Thank
I
you.
will be honored. I
I
will be honored.
thank you so much. Best regards to your family and your team. Do have a wonderful
Thank you,
night.
man.
Yes.
You
So,
too.
audience, we want to appreciate everyone that joined. And don't forget, subscribe before you leave this live telecast, because it is very important to this channel, very important to this video, so that we can have people, the algorithm can push this video to people that will benefit from the value that we dropped tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Everyone, if I say I should be mentioning your name, in fact, we won't leave here. But know that I appreciate your time. I appreciate you so much. And I love you from the depth of my heart. Do have a wonderful night. And I say, God bless you.